Hi guys, we're back again with part 2 of Alice and Greta. This is the sequel. That means it's the second book in the series. I think there's only 2. So this is called Greta's Revenge. Oh my gosh, if you remember, last time we read about Alice and Greta, and now we're going to find out about Greta's Revenge. Oh man, I wonder what's going to happen here. This is written by Stephen J. Simmons and illustrated by Sid Moore. Let's go ahead and get started. Ooh, last time, if you noticed, the cover had both of them and the inside was pink. Now instead it's green. That's kind of fun. All right. Alice and Greta were witches with 2 very different points of view of the world. Alice used her magic to help people. Greta, on the other hand, used her spells to do things that were not very nice. Oh my gosh, here she is stealing the worms from the man who's fishing, and she's keeping all his worms from him. And here's Alice helping a different fisherman catch a really big fish. Today, Greta was angry with Alice. Alice had just spoiled one of Greta's devious schemes by putting her in an icky, sticky marshmallow mess. This happened in the last story, right? Greta wondered what she could do to get even with Alice. Maybe she could cover Alice in honey and let loose a hive of bees to fly around her. Greta would have such a good laugh at that. Perhaps she could turn Alice's broom into a baseball bat. Alice would be so surprised when she flew into the branches of a tree. Greta smiled with delight. And here it says nasty deeds and how to be mean and nasty and 365 ways to get even. Oh my gosh. And here's her different ideas of what she could do to poor Alice. So we've got her flying on a bat and hitting a tree, and then the honey being spilled on top of her and getting attacked by bees. Oh my gosh. Greta is not very kind. No, Greta thought, Alice deserves worse. And then she came up with a wonderfully bad idea. I will make Alice just like me, she cackled. I will make that pink goody two-shoes do nasty things, just like me. We can drink our morning cup of pond slime together and figure out our bad day's work. The next day, Greta hid behind a rock, watching Alice water her flowers. Then she pointed her wand at Alice and whispered, Stars, moon, sun, and sea, make this witch become like me. The watering can suddenly dropped from Alice's hand. Her body began to shake. Her beautiful pink hat turned yucky green. And then Alice's smile turned into a snarl, and she said words she had never ever said before. Oh, I want to do such nasty, nasty things. Greta laughed as she watched Alice fly off to a birthday party. There the children were having so much fun, as a clown made them balloons in the shape of animals. Alice waved her wand and chanted, Spiders crawl, toads hop, bees sting, balloons pop. With that, the balloons burst and changed into real animals. The children's laughter turned into tears as they became frightened and ran away. The next morning, Greta joined Alice for a cup of pond slime. Together, they stirred a cauldron and chanted, Time to brew, time to bubble, time to stir up nasty trouble. In the boiling potion, they saw the image of a picnic with children eating peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, pizza, fruit, and cookies. Alice and Greta flew off together to do their dirty work. Once at the picnic, they waved their wands and chanted, Bat wings up, bat wings down, blow this picnic all around. They laughed as a strong wind blew the food onto everyone's clothes. The children went home hungry. The next day, while Alice fed some lizards and toads, Greta played with her snakes and spiders. Suddenly, Greta began to feel very strange. Her body began to shake. She smiled at the butterflies and flowers. Then her yucky green hat turned bright pink. Greta had never learned the most important lesson at the witch school that she and Alice had attended as young girls. Their teacher had called it the boomerang principle. Whatever you chant, whatever you brew, sooner or later comes back to you. Greta then yelled something she had never ever said before. I want to do such fine, nice things. Her magic was indeed coming back to her in a most unexpected way. Greta immediately flew off in a search of good things to do. She saw a brother and sister trying to help their cat, who was stuck up a tree. They were having terrible trouble since the tree was too tall for them to climb. Greta waved her wand in circles over her head and whispered, "Bat wings up, bat wings down. Let this cat float to the ground." A baby cloud appeared next to the cat and gently carried her down to the two children. Next, Greta walked past some children who had just spent hours making a big building with blocks. Just as they finished, their dog bumped into it and the blocks fell all around him. As the children cried out, Greta pointed her wand and quickly chanted, "Alakazam, Alakazir, make a tower reappear." The blocks immediately went back into the shape of a tower. The children could not believe their eyes. They waved their thanks to Greta. But as time went by, the spells weakened. One very hot day, Alice was busy melting some children's ice cream and laughing as they cried. Suddenly, she stopped and mumbled to herself, "Goodness gracious, what am I doing?" She quickly made each child a new ice cream pop with special candy topping and enjoyed watching smiles return to their faces. On another day, Greta was handing out favorite baseball cards to some grateful boys and girls, when she suddenly stopped and said to herself, "Oh, frog's feet and lizard's guts, what am I doing?" She turned every baseball card dark blue and laughed hysterically when the children started to cry. I think I've been kind of nasty. In a little while, the spells on both witches wore off entirely. Alice's hat turned back to rosy pink. Greta's hat turned back to mean green. Each witch could remember what she had done under the spell, but ever so vaguely. Alice scratched her head and said, "I think I've been nasty, but I don't know why. I can't wait to help people. That always makes me feel great." And Greta said, "I think I've been doing kind of good, but I'm not sure why. When I start doing nasty things, I'll feel better. But every once in a while, maybe I'll help that pathetic Alice." Within a few weeks, Greta got tired of doing bad things and asked Alice if she could help her for a day. Although Alice was surprised, she said, "Sure," and together they took off on their brooms. Alice and Greta flew to a family where they had heard there had been an outbreak of chicken pox. They wanted to clear up the children's itchy red spots. Together they waved their wands and chanted, "Alakazam, Alakazir, tiny red spots disappear." The kids' mom looked in disbelief into the clear faces of her smiling children. Later, Alice said, "Let's go help some kids clean up their street." But Greta had had enough of helping. She flew to a school playground where she thought it would be fun to cover the monkey bars, rings, and swings with slippery bug juice and watch the children slip and slide. She waved her wand and cackled, "Squishy spiders, worms, and bees, slide these children to their knees." The children started falling to the ground. But Alice had followed Greta. She waved her wand and said, "Whatever you chant, whatever you brew, sooner or later comes back to you." Immediately the bug juice disappeared from the playground and covered the ground where Greta was standing. Greta slipped and fell head over heels. Alice mumbled to herself, "Poor Greta, when will she learn?" The end. I hope that you choose to make kind choices, like our friend Alice, right? It's better to help people and do good to others than to be kind to them. Because in the end, you will have kind things happen to you when you are kind to those around you. All right, my friends, I hope you have a fabulous rest of your day. I'll see you next time. Bye.